Hello everybody and welcome to part 2 of episode 25 of Top Rope Reality right here on YouTube. And let's get started with a little WWE news.
Yes.
Why are they squashing Bray Wyatt and making John Cena look like he can't be beat? Why is he becoming Superman again?
He
a bigger Superman.
He wants to be Superman, and then when he faces Brock Lesnar, he wants to be the underdog. But when he faces everybody else, he has to beat everybody. Bray Wyatt didn't need to lose. I understand they had Randy Orton off that week, but Randy Orton needed to be there, and Randy Orton needed to take that loss because it wouldn't hurt Randy Orton.
Anybody else.
You know, but there's not a lot of heels going on right now that need to lose. But you don't need Cesaro to lose to him. You didn't need Bray Wyatt. They didn't need Bray Wyatt to lose to him. They need bigger name heels like a Randy Orton to be losing to John Cena.
They love having John Cena, Randy Orton every time you turn around.
Right.
And this is what I take out of it. Jim Ross on his blog, he was critical of the way they booked John Cena. I've seen other websites that are critical of the way they booked John Cena.
They should not have had him come out there and wrestle at all. They should have had him come out there and speak and say, look, I'm going to, even Jim Ross didn't like the fact that he said, I'm going to the pay-per-view not to beat Brock Lesnar, but to beat his butt. Okay, so you clearly aren't going to win the belt. You're saying you don't want to win the belt. You just want to beat him down. That doesn't sound like a challenger to me. That just sounds like someone out for vindication. Okay, my thing is, it doesn't make any sense the way they're booking him. They should have had a pre-taped interview with him talking about, you know, basically questioning himself as to can I do this?
Can we get some bandages for a shoulder? You got 16 German suplexes. Your neck ought to be a little hurt.
Thank you.
I know. Hey, I'm surprised as hell that they kept him off a week. He wasn't back the next day.
Right.
But they kept him off a week, and he come back and he tore through not just Bray Wyatt, the whole Wyatt family.
Big Show, Mark Henry didn't even need to be out there. Who cares?
But that's another one too. They're trying to make the Big Show and Mark Henry versus the Wyatts as a match. The Wyatts haven't won yet.
No. They lost all the time to the Usos, and now they're losing all the time to Big Show and Mark Henry.
They should be pushing these teams.
This is not good booking. You're letting the older guys once again beat the younger guys. And John Cena, I read in an interview that he said, this is the time for the young people to step it up. This is their time. Clearly it's not.
No.
If you want to beat everybody, it's clearly not their time.
And what they could have done, okay, Bray doesn't pin John Cena. Let's say he runs John Cena to the post. You're hurt from the German suplexes. You don't make it back in the ring. You lose by count out.
You wouldn't have hurt him at all.
It makes you look vulnerable. If they want him to beat Brock, which there is rumors of that happening at Night of Champions, it's just, hey, we're getting another piss poor booking again.
We will be talking about that later on then, if we have to, because Brock Lesnar losing it after one pay-per-view is stupid. If he could destroy The Undertaker the way he did and destroy John Cena that way he did just now, he should not already be losing it back to John Cena. They're just wanting him to be better than Ric Flair, and they're wanting him to have more than 16 title reigns. That's what we're getting to, and it's stupid. But
I heard that he could win by disqualification.
Which is fine. They're moving
he went and they keep Brock gets the title. But I also heard he could walk out on Night of Champions as the World Heavyweight Champion, which is very bad to do.
It's piss poor booking, but we want to move on from that. We got a lot more news going on.
We talked about RVD. He's finishing up with WWE.
Yes.
WWE has scrapped Tough Enough.
Unfortunately.
For right now, till the money starts rolling in. Well, you got to do one thing: stop pushing John Cena like he's better than everybody else.
Yes.
There we go with John Cena. He's dealing with some nagging injuries.
Let him go away for a while. Let him get healthy again, and then let him come back later on. Because there's backstage concern over his WWE future. If you built the stars the way you needed to, you wouldn't be concerned about his future. You'd let him go off into the sunset. My gosh, I don't even think...
People need a break every once in a while.
I don't even think that... What's his name? Hulk Hogan didn't even have this long of a run at the top of WWE.
No, because
he started in, what, 84, but by 94, 95, he was already in WCW.
Yeah, so he took...
It's ridiculous.
And he took breaks when he was in WWE.
It's ridiculous.
You have to let somebody else run with the ball.
Thank you.
And if they fail, then they just fail. You try somebody else then.
Yep.
But no, WWE, if they fail, well, get John Cena back here, hurry. We're going to have John Cena back here because he brings all the money in.
Yep. It's sad. But we also want to talk about, there's a backstage update.
Which is great news.
Xavier Woods, Big E, and Kofi's stable. WWE officials have reportedly told all three of them that they plan to continue using them as a group. But they've been testing the group out at recent live events and in dark matches as both heels and baby faces, as officials are trying to figure out how to present the group and how they want the stable to move forward. Here's my thing. They need to be heels. The way that they did it the very first night when they all came together,
right.
He said, we've been treated badly, blah, blah, blah. We need to come together. Okay, they don't need to be baby faces. They're worried about PR.
But what they did this past Monday with Goldust and Stardust, if they come out, they're going to be faces. Because who else is a face tag team?
Nobody, except for the Usos.
Unless
and
they
the Lost Matadors.
Well, unless they make Slater Gator, but that's not really, you know.
That's a jobber tag team, just like Lost Matadors.
Yes, it is. They are really on the bottom of the keel here.
Also,
some very upsetting news. I mean,
very upsetting. Jake the Snake Roberts has been moved from the ICU of a Las Vegas hospital to a different medical facility, better equipped to handle his current condition. The reason he was moved is because the fluid found in his lungs has been spread to other organs in his body. So we at Top Rope Reality want to wish Jake the Snake Roberts a speedy recovery.
And plus, I mean, and plus that mass on the back of his brain.
Yes.
So yeah, we definitely want him to get better.
And then the Raw rating for 825 dropped below a 3.0.
A 3.
Sad.
Let's get on some more TNA news here real quick. TNA may have been offered a spot on Discovery's channel Velocity. Ooh, look out now. They're already moving on now.
Only available in HD and in less than 50 million homes. It's being described that this move is a worst-case scenario for TNA and Impact Wrestling, as some major changes would have to take place for the move to work. They would have to cut back drastically on production costs, and the current TNA roster would be no more, as it would likely be impossible for the company to retain any of the top talent the roster currently includes.
That's a done deal. If they go there,
their company might as well be done.
They will be done.
You can't keep any of your top talent, and you don't want to resign a lot of your top talent because you're afraid of where you're about to end up at. This is not good news for TNA.
I've got a feeling if they stay with Spike, Spike is going to buy 51% of the company from the Carters.
And maybe something can get done right.
And from the Carter, Mama and Daddy. Dixie will have nothing to say about it. And we will see if there's a major change in
I hope there is.
Because they go to here, it's a final nail in the coffin. They will be no more TNA.
And what could be possibly their last pay-per-view if things don't turn around.
Yes.
The first set of wrestlers have been revealed for top TNA Bound for Glory. MVP, Samoa Joe, James Storm, The Great Sonata, EC3 Abyss, Davey Richards and Eddie Edwards, Bram, Manic, and also Wrestle One has announced their first people to appear as Tajiri and The Great Muta, and more to be announced soon. Plus, Team 3D will be inducted to the Hall of Fame for the first time ever TNA broadcast from the land of the rising sun. Team 3D thing is interesting to me though, because Bully Ray may not even be re-signed, so you're going to put two people.
He said he was going to be there though, but hey, it's too late now.
I guess to finish out the commitments, but
that's too late now. You can't change it.
But that is so strange to me. But you know,
that'll be his last time you ever see with Bully Ray.
Hopefully, Davey and Eddie, whichever one had the leg injury, hopefully they're healed up by the time the pay-per-view.
He says it's going to be. I think it was Davey. Well, on NXT Takeover 2 news, we have they finally announced how the NWA Championship is going to be. It's going to be a fatal four-way as Adrian Neville takes on Sami Zayn, Tyson Kidd, and Tyler Breeze. They have been testing this match over several house shows, and it has been going over great with each person getting a win. So you don't know how it's going to go on the network for only $9.99.
So the fatal four-way then, if the other three are getting wins, it's non-title. Right?
Yeah, it's all been non-title matches.
Gotcha.
Yes, but they've all got wins.
Gotcha.
And they don't know who's going to win.
Also, there's a new NXT general manager.
Very good.
The commentator, William Regal.
This is good for Regal. Regal was great when he was the commissioner.
Yes, he was. He did great things.
As a heel or a face. I mean, people, when the faces made fun of him and pulled gangs on him. I mean, it works both ways.
In his tea and stuff like that.
Yes.
Tajiri acted crazy with him. Also, Global Force Wrestling news. Global Force Wrestling and Jeff Jarrett are saying negotiations for the Global Force TV deal are ongoing, but are moving a lot slower than officials hoped. But
TNA getting extended a little bit longer.
There you go. But Jeff Jarrett will reportedly be heading to New York, Dallas, and LA in September to scout buildings for potential places to take TV.
Sounds good.
I mean, even if they don't get TV right away, they can always go to the internet and do an internet show.
Yes, of course.
And still make plenty of money.
Because that's what he started off with TNA with, so he knows how to start.
He did weekly pay-per-views.
Yes.
He might be able to pull it off that way again.
But it's going to be very interesting to see what happens when 2015 starts.
Yes, because right now, Global Force Wrestling, I read it this was great how they presented it. Global Force Wrestling right now is basically just a YouTube reality show about Jeff Jarrett, Karen Jarrett, just going around the world. That's all it's becoming right now, so I hope that we get more out of this. I hope they do get a TV deal, or they get some kind of deal where we can at least watch it and things go well, because they got a lot of deals inked already with a lot of global different promotions.
Oh, yes.
So if they've already made these, these announcements, then there's money being exchanged here. So they better get something going, or they're going to owe a lot of people a lot of money.
I think by October 1st, we will probably know a lot more on location and probably on more of them hitting of what TV they're going to go to. But they will have a lot of international stars and some from, I got a feeling that a lot from TNA. If they have to go to Velocity, they will cut cord and go where they have to go where the money is.
That's a bad idea with Velocity, though.
But the one thing that we need is WWE needs competition.
Yes. And we'll be talking
right
about
now,
that.
we're not getting competition.
We're talking about that in Final Thoughts later on in this episode.
All right, well, that's it for part 2 of our little WWE, TNA, NXT, and Global Force news.
There's a lot of news going on.
Yeah, so we'll be right back for part 3, your favorite part, everybody's favorite part, Countdowns. So we'll see you shortly for part 3 of Top Rope Reality, episode 25.